皆さんこんばんは、中西です。こんばんは。今日はですね、特に何かテーマを決めてやるっていうわけではないんですけれども、はい、実はですね、今日が6月13日なんですけれども、5月13日から英会話を続けて1日も休むことなく1ヶ月間、やってまいりました。今日はその成果を発揮したいなっていうふうに思います。で、今日の、英会話で意識したいことは、とりあえず積極的に話すということ、それがやっぱりこの英会話の醍醐味だし、話すことで英語が上達すると思いますので、どんどん積極的に話していきたいなっていうふうに思います。細かい文法とか三単元の S とか、過去形とか過去分詞とかもいろいろあるんですけれども、そういうのを気にして完璧な英語を話そうと思ったらなかなかスムーズで話せないことが分かったので、そういうのはある程度意識しながらもちろん完璧に話せたらいいんですけれども、ネイティブではないのでそれは難しいので、なるべく気にせずに相手に伝わるような話し方、今日は本当に前向きにどんどん話すということに特化して自分から積極的に話して、コミュニケーションを取っていきたいなっていうふうに思います。今日の先生はですね、関係ないんですけどすっごく綺麗な方です。昔から知ってる先生なのでだいぶ話しやすいんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。どういう会話になるかフリーでトークするのでわからないですけど、多分近況とかになっちゃうと思うんですけれども、そういった話ができたらなっていうふうに思います。ちょっと受け身の英語を今日はやめて積極的に話せたらなというふうに思います。はい、では早速始めます。Hi. Hello.
Hi. Yeah, hi.
Hi. Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
That's good. How have you been?
Yeah. Not bad.
That's good to know. And I'd like to confirm, can you see me clearly and can you hear me too?
I can hear you clearly, but I cannot see you yet.
Yet. So it's loading. Let me try to refresh my video. Moment.
Yeah.
Can you see me now?
I can see you.
Okay, sounds good. So I'd like to confirm your lesson request, Nakani-san. What do you want to do for tonight's class?
Yes, I want to use the free talk or free conversation, okay?
Yeah, certainly. Is there anything special that you want to talk about tonight? I mean, it's been a while since the last lesson we had. It was a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, so tell me about how you dealt with many kinds of calamities and disasters and crises
It's
these
okay.
past few months.
Yeah, you mean that COVID-19?
I think so too, as well as maybe typhoon, earthquake.
Yeah, I mean that in Japan we had typhoon. It's very have terrible damage, especially in the Kanto area. I cannot remember, but in my case, I live in next to the river, so I remember that we have an emergency, so to keep far from the river because of the flood. I called to the I asked them if we need to run away or not. So somebody told me that you don't have to move because I live in more than second floor. So that is they say it is safe. Yeah.
Lucky you.
And then I try to see the river next morning, and I watch the river is very changing and changed and very become terrible. So the amount of water is quite increasing.
Yeah, I heard that was one of the biggest typhoon your country experienced in the past 10 or 30 years, right?
Yeah.
So, as you said, many houses were affected during that time. It's been a few months since it happened. Were they able to recover from the damage? Were they able to go back to their houses and, cleaned up all the mess.
So yes, I remember because it's very long ago, so I cannot remember clearly. But maybe I heard that I watched the news. House, the roof have very big hole, and they cannot live anymore. So they must repair their house, but because of the heavy rain, they cannot start repair the house. So it take a very long time for these families, especially living very near to the river, or I heard a very so unfortunate family. So their house just near to the golf, what I should say, so golf practice center, or they have a lot of pole and the net, the very huge structure. So the pole, they broken, and it's a fall to the on the roof of the house. So they cannot do anything because the pole is very heavy, at that time they have a very big problem. The money to repair the house, who pay the money? Yeah, so I don't know the conclusion or the result of this problem, but that is become very big news, and we can see that every day. Yeah.
Wow. Many things happen now.
But how about you? The typhoon, maybe I remember that 19, number 19, I don't know what I should say. We call that. So the same typhoon, or do you have any effect or some damage?
Yeah, Typhoon 19. I think you were talking about, I forgot, Yolanda. It was, I think, Hagibis in English. It was back in, not in 2019. It was more than 2000. I mean, it was past 2019. But what I'm saying is that we also had a very huge typhoon, not in my city, but close to maybe just a little far from my city. And it actually killed more than 100,000 of people. It also destroyed a whole city, or almost a whole province.
Wow.
So yeah, until now, unfortunately, maybe more than 5 or 6 years ago when it happened, and until now, many people were still not able to recover from the damages. And the city is still underdeveloped up until now.
Wow. Especially the nose area.
Yes, it's somewhere in the north.
But how about the Hagibis? So it happened in 2019, October 6th.
Typhoon Hagibis actually also hit our country and destroyed many houses, but not as worse as Haiyan. I think the reason why the damage was far less than Haiyan because we were prepared enough and we saw how terrifying it is. Yeah. When we witnessed Haiyan destroyed the whole city and it killed lots of people.
Wow, amazing. So it's very terrible and unfortunately. But the Hagibis, it's named by the Philippines this time maybe. The meaning is just fast or something.
I think so. Sorry. But yes, the name sounded like a Filipino or a Philippine name.
Yeah, maybe.
Where were you during Typhoon Hagibis? Were you visiting our country or you were in Japan listening to the news?
No. I just stay in Japan. Give our very big damage. So and I live next to near to the river. So in my area, it have an emergency call or something.
I'm actually a bit, maybe you would say grateful because during the pandemic period, this coronavirus, we never experienced typhoon or huge typhoon. I mean, it's not hitting too tragedies in one time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're right. If the happening they're booking at the same time, it will become more terrible situation for us. The damage also. Yeah, but how about in your country? The COVID-19 now it's getting better.
It's getting worse day by day.
Oh, so
Yeah.
very sorry.
That's true. Another thing, I think it's the worst year of our country because in January, one of the most active volcano erupted. Not really erupted, but it there was smoke and it was like it had like slight eruption. But it actually left lots of damages in nearby houses also. There were no casualties, no death, but I'm not sure if you've heard about that. It's
Volcano?
Yeah.
Oh.
There was an eruption. After January, I think February, there was also lots of earthquake happening in my area, in Mindanao. Then after that, there's coronavirus. And, yeah, so our country has experienced sequential events, unfortunate events.
Yeah. So unfortunate. It's very sorry and very sad. But I hope your country and Japan will have very happy news in the future. I hope so.
By the way, what do you plan to do after coronavirus restrictions, like travel ban are lifted?
Any plan? So maybe that I think it need a year. After the coronavirus, we must think about the other countries' situation. I think maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 years we cannot go other countries because of the virus.
That's quite too long.
Maybe just guessing, but I just want to see my son after the coronavirus. I have a 3-month son. I cannot see him because of the virus. So he stay with his mom in her hometown. I just want to see them.
Yeah, that's quite sad. But there is no lockdown in Japan.
No
Why
lockdown.
can you not?
So I cannot. I decided to stay home alone until the virus getting better or end.
I don't know if I'd say it's good, but you were actually right. You're taking major precautionary not to bring the virus in their hometown.
Yeah.
And your baby is still very small, so yeah, you have to. He has a sensitive and weak immune system yet, so.
Yes, you're right. So it's very terrible. Since June, our environment getting has changed. And in my case, my company start to allow the employees to come to the office. Yes, but in my case, just not more than 50% of the population of our office. But before June, we must not more than 20% of the population.
If you have a choice, would you like to go back to the office or you want to continue working from home?
I just stay alone without my wife and the son, just stay home without talking to anybody. Sometimes I feel very stressful. The mental health is, I think, getting worse. So it's case by case. Maybe 2 or 3 days it's okay to go to office a week. Yeah, but how about you? I believe you just stay home. Don't you feel stressed?
Yes, it's really stressful. I mean, I just realized that I actually needed to go out too. Anyway, it's already time. I have another student waiting for me, but I enjoyed talking to you. It went smooth, and yeah, we just had such natural catching up. Do you have any questions, Nakani-san?
I have very good time to talk with you.
Thank you. Good night to you.
Bye. 皆さんいかがだったでしょうか。今日のテーマは本当フリーのトークだったんですけれども、顔なじみの先生っていうこともあって結構話しやすかったんですね。当初予定していた積極的な会話を意識して、自分がアウトプットをどんどんしていけるように意識して話しました。でもちろん文法とかめちゃくちゃな時もあったり、完璧な英語ではなかったかもしれないんですけれども、伝えたいことがちゃんと先生に伝わったんじゃないかなっていうふうに思っています。こういう感じで積極的に話すのはいいのかなっていうふうに思いました。テーマが災害だったりホットな話題であるコロナウイルスだったり、ちょっと話題が暗いんですけれども、日常会話をしていくっていうことは、情報交換にもなりますし、相手との、一つの話題作りにもなりますので、あながち悪いわけではないなっていうふうに思っています。自分の感覚としてもかなり英語がスムーズに出るようになっているなっていうふうに感じました。特に事前に何か準備したわけじゃないんですけれども、この1ヶ月間毎日休まずに、オンライン英会話取り組んだおかげで、これを話したいと思ってからアウトプットするまでのやりやすさが全然違うなっていうふうに思いました。確かにボキャブラリー足りなくて単語が出てこないってことはあると思うんですけれども、それでも1ヶ月前の時に比べるとかなりスムーズに英語が出ていたなっていう風な印象を覚えました。英語が上手な上級者とかには本当遠く及ばないんですけれども、引き続きオンライン英会話続けていって、このままどんどん1ヶ月2ヶ月1年と続けていってレベルアップしていけたらなというふうに思いますので、ぜひまた動画楽しみにしていただいて、普通にこのオンライン英会話を使ってレッスンするだけじゃなくて、例えば英語を勉強していく上で、みんなが疑問に思ってること、例えばどうやったら語彙力が上がるのか、スピーキング能力が上がるのかとか、リスニング能力が上がるのかとか、じゃあどうやったら英語を家でも楽しく勉強できるかとか、どういう本がいいのかとか、音楽がいいのかとか、そういったみんなの疑問を英会話の先生に聞いたりして、皆さんにフィードバックできたらなというふうに思っています。そういった英語を学ぶ上で有益な情報、僕自身が知りたい情報や皆さんも知りたいような情報をどんどん発信していきますので、見逃したくない方は今のうちにチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。今日も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございます。